All right. Good afternoon, everybody. Happy Monday. We are coming back into one of the most buggy and crash riddled playthroughs I've had in a long time. Unfortunately, it seems that this particular set of mods, and it may be just because I have so many animal mods turned on, I've struggled with crashes constantly that have set me back anywhere from 15 minutes to an hour, depending. We've lost a lot of our animals. So I took some of them and put them into the Tech Hunter faction. And that, as you can see with Mickey here, I didn't realize this meant that they're not allied with the gutters like we are. So all of our animals, somehow the beak things could get into here but not out. And they promptly ate pretty much all of our smaller, weaker animals that we had dismissed to try and keep them from starving. But they were also starving to death off screen before that. None of the animals from these mods seem to eat correctly. The only way I've found to get them to eat correctly is to pack Grace with food next to them and have them follow her. And even then, I still have to check. Edgar, I'll find him like over here dorking off for no reason whatsoever, just starving to death. He'll just be standing over here starving to death. So I think the whole animal taming thing in Kenshi has just always been rough. With the domesticated animals, at least, if you keep the food troughs and the food storage items full, they will eat. So it's not really that bad once your food production is up, but going anywhere with animals requires an extensive amount of food. I don't mean to bitch here, but basically, this just hasn't worked out. This has been, oddly enough, even though it's a Kurtains playthrough, it's been one of my least favorite playthroughs. It's just been constant maintenance trying to keep them from dying. It's like raising 34 children at once. That said, in the process, we did find the unique armors and get them equipped. Uh, all of the unique and special armors do appear to be a little overpowered in some ways, especially the fact that they're medium armor class. Um, you'll notice that they have similar blunt resistance or better than the metal armor. They'll have similar or better cut resistance than samurai leg plates, and there are virtually no downsides. Like this thing having negative crossbow effect is for our character a nothing, you know. It comes with a plus 20 to melee attack and plus 5 to melee defense as armor, which is something that you don't typically see. You're not going to see a positive number on your armor, and this stuff is, I didn't think about it. It is way more overpowered, but the amount of materials that is required with how rare the animals are, like they're not, something you can go find tons of. In fact, finding the bulls for the bull crafting armor was pure hell. They're swimming through the water over here. Just over here. That's it. I checked the entire fucking moon. Kenshi is a moon. I checked all of it. They were only here in this little sort of unnamed but kind of a part of something. It's not even really a part of Hang. It's just its own nothing burger area that normally has nothing over there. So they kind of took after the last unicorn, and they have these bright red bulls, which I'll show you guys before we wrap up. We'll swim over there and take a look. But these things have ridiculous stats. So the armor's balanced around. Ooh, we probably should put our armor on before we leave. So I wanted to show you the stats there. But the other thing to consider is that you're not going to mass produce this armor. It's made with materials that you can't mine. It's not made with basic skins. It's made with materials that only come from the animals that are from the mod. And you have to remember, uh, and choosing between these sets is difficult, but you have to remember that it took, killing, I think, 5 or 6 skimmer queens to make this get up. It took killing a ton of hellhounds and a ton of hellhounds for this as well. You don't have to kill the bulls, thank goodness. All of the animals have that bloody skin, and then the skimmer queen has hers. But then you're kind of choosing, do you want cut resistance efficiency or coverage? And do you value stealth or not? So we're not really using stealth this playthrough, so it's just, do I want more coverage or cut resistance efficiency? I know that the armor in this game can be confusing. I honestly hadn't even bothered to learn the details of it until right now, because it just doesn't matter. If you're going to be playing with extra attack slots, heavy armor is by default better until you hit a certain skill level. Even weak characters, yes, it'll be annoying how slow you move, but when you have a 0 to 15 toughness stat, you will die to anything if you're wearing light or medium armor. You will get absolutely clapped. So, like, if you have the option, heavy armor is the way to go. And I was seeing this in the fights that Kurtains was taking. We would go to fight bug guys and stuff and just get absolutely wrecked because they're attacking too fast. So the heavy armor ended up being a problem. It has that combat speed debuff. And these are what you would call multiplicative for the math nerds. So what that means is that you're going to run into a lot of issues. Give me 1 second. Okay, sorry. Needs of the family first, but we've got basically a choice, and what I was saying is, because of the combat speed effect and them being multiplicative, that's an 8% decrease followed by a 4% decrease. So if you don't really wrap your head around what that means, is let's say you're at 100, that's your speed. Your speed's at 100. Then you would go minus 8%, but it's really multiplied. But the result when you use something like 100 is that it would be, you would have 96 combat speed instead of 100, which isn't that bad. It's like a 4% decrease. You're like, okay. But you put the chest piece on, and it doesn't take it away from that 100 number. It takes it away from the 96. So now you're missing another 8% of 96. So while it takes away, it basically just makes it worse and worse and compounds instead of adding together. So you end up with just way less combat speed. So let's see. Let's do it here. 0.96 times, well, we got to do the 1 minus 0.96 is 4. So that'll take us 4% away. And then times 0.0, what was it, 8? I'm probably doing this wrong anyway, but yeah, 8. Yeah, so that's what it is. You end up with, instead of you, no, that doesn't make sense. So I'm missing something here. I'm goobing. Oh, it's okay. I wouldn't sweat it. The long and short is, it affects your combat speed a lot. I'm gonna have to wrap my head around that because the more I do the math, the less it makes sense. But they're basically going to come together to make you attack very slowly. And what you're gonna find is that in big groups of combat where you have lots of people swinging at you, you can't really do anything but block. So that's where we have to choose between these two sets now. We would want light armor. Luckily, these are a little overpowered. We did have the regular versions of these. We had like a regular light set of armor, and we ended up getting rid of it since we have the OP stuff. I mean, we put through the pain of playing these mods, we may as well get the perks, right? Now, and again, these are stronger than normal, but what it would take to mass produce, I would say absolutely balances it. You'd have to kill one of these guys to get half of a piece of armor. Okay, this is killing this thing is no joke. Like I could take curtains right now. If I was to go and try and fight one, I'm pretty sure it would be a losing battle eventually. But there are allies. They're not going to go chopping up beak things. So what we're going to do, we've got our armor. We're going to go check out the bulls and show you the amount of bullshit I had to go through just to get this armor. Just to unlock the ability to craft it. You have to get the actual horns to unlock the crafting ability. Then you can go get skins from these guys, fellhounds, not fellhounds, hellhounds. And the hellhounds are ridiculous. They hit so hard. The big ones will take me out in like one hit. It's like 70 damage straight through my samurai armor. So we're going to take our super overpowered stats and armor. We're going to go check out the bulls, and then we're going to go take a fair fight against the bugmaster, meaning we're going to try and clear out the spiders in the local area and then see if we can take him out in a fair fight. And if we do, we're going to imprison him if he's still alive and see if we can make the spiders our allies as well. See if it works kind of like the guy out here in Gut. So now the next thing is to head over here. I think we'll get there faster this way. But yeah, I had to kill so many of those animals just to get one set of armor for just curtains. So I think that kind of balances it. Yes, it's overpowered, but yes, you have to go kill really strong animals en masse. I mean, it would take forever. And it's very difficult to do solo. So it kind of works out. The more I thought, my impression literally as I started the video was like, these are really overpowered. Then I remembered you can't mass produce them, which also means your access to masterwork versions of these is that's even worse. It would be even harder. So here's one of the ones that we haven't seen. I don't think we've seen on stream at all. There's so many really cool animals that were added by this mod, but just trying to run around, I spent the whole weekend just trying to get the mats to even see what the crafting looked like. So we're just kind of taking a look around and seeing all the animals. I was originally going to try and catch them all, but if you see the stats they have, I'm doing it solo. I'm going to risk her just getting killed, or I'm going to end up having to bring animals that I have to carry on my back to fight stuff and chuck them out like a Pokemon, which is kind of funny, but it doesn't work and the game crashes constantly. Like the game's probably going to crash while I'm streaming, and if I'm carrying a beak thing while running, it will almost certainly crash at least once during the trip. It has made it very difficult to keep going. And so we're going to kind of try and wrap this up with something of a finale and then move on to a new project. I'm not sure if I'm even going to keep these mods installed because I do believe it's the sheer quantity. Like, look at that spider queen. I do believe it's the sheer quantity of animals and extra things going on that's causing it. But we'll see. I like the animals. I don't like trying to tame them, but I like having them in the game. They make the areas more dangerous, which is pretty cool. It can be a nuisance depending on what you're trying to get done. But overall, I like these overpowered armor sets that take a lot of effort to get. They like add the next level to Kenshi. The problem is that you're already good enough to beat the end game of Kenshi with just what you have access to without mods. Like the first real playthrough for the channel, we stomped the living daylights out of Catlon and all of his robots, and it wasn't really close. And then when we did it with the paladins, it was worse. When we had mods and we could have edge weapons, like Edge 3 weapons and May 2, and really high quality special modded paladin armor that was actually good, it was intense. We were so overpowered, we were just running the game over. Which just kind of took some of the. I don't like losing the combats, I'd rather win than lose. But it felt like there were no stakes. You know, we were just running around metaphorically one punching everything. But this is the island where I found the bulls. I just got desperate, was like, I'll look over here. And then I realized that they're not behaving like normal bulls. They're just swimming. They're going through the water like some last unicorn nonsense. So we'll get out here and see if we can find some. Their stats are insane. Killing them was rough. I had to stop, almost died, go get my good friend Edgar, who's an elder pickaxe thing with hundreds for stats and over 1,000 HP, kind of like that one. I had to go grab me one of those to fight these bulls. They're ridiculous. So on the island, you can see there's some of these hybrid enforcers. We didn't get around to using a lot of those. The mechanical ones that we could get, I still haven't figured out. I think it's part of the science. We'll have to see. I haven't figured out what science allows us to use those. If I'm able to figure that out, we'll probably take a look at that. But we're supposed to be able to get a high enough science according to the mod to use those. There's a Grieve Wraith out here. These things were crazy to fight. And then the game also, the mod comes with a ton of really overpowered weapons, but when I say really overpowered, I'd have to see the cutting and blunt when they're actually crafted. But I mean, they are really overpowered. We're talking plus 400% to certain enemy types, you know, just absolutely crazy. So we look out here, we're seeing Grieve Wraiths, lots of hybrid Praetors. Just crazy stuff in general. And now I'm not even seeing the bulls. This shows, I guess, how rare they are. I'm not even seeing them now. But this was the only location that had them. I checked the whole map, the water area. Areas like this, over here, this patch, you know, nothing. It's literally just this area where I found them. There's a Leviathan Eater. So there are so many cool animals that it's hard to even get to, because going out to Leviathan Coast is just crash central. The game will crash 3 or 4 times. But Leviathan Eaters are basically really weak but large creatures. They're actually not that tough to fight. They don't do damage. They don't have high attack stats, but they're easy to get around. Well, I was gonna show you the bulls, but in typical fashion, they're there they are. Okay. So I don't want to get dragged into a fight. If you look at this, they're called man-eaters. Their stats don't seem like they're that high, but when I got into a fight with them, they ran me over. And they're aggressive like immediately. Let's see what they do for damage. So you see the little one hit me for a decent amount. If that large one hits me, I think we'll feel it. Oh goodness. But yeah, as you can see, we're kind of taking a beating from these guys. Luckily, her with the overpowered armor, her stats are up high enough. Yeah, there's that 29. We're taking a little bit bigger hits, and they attack so fast, traditional animal fashion. But you'll see them, they'll just go and swim through the water. Like if I leave them alone, let's see it. Does he have more? So there's the horn. Goodness, game, chill. Stop. It like goes into a panic attack when you try to loot in combat sometimes. I just want to get to where they stop trying to fight me. But if you look, they've got no problem swimming. They'll just end up swimming out there. And if I leave them alone, you'll just see them swimming back and forth. So like, let's see if this one, see what he does. Oh, he went back to fight. But you'll just see him swimming through the water, and it was the craziest thing to see the pathing they would take. They would just swim through this water and be cruising through the water, and that was it. If I hadn't noticed them and been desperate to come try and see if they're over here, I might never have found them. It was cool. It was a nice touch once I found them, but it was infuriating trying to find all these animals for all this crafting. So if we look, we've got a tech level 6 bench. We've done all the animal research. Smithing. I don't see anything there. And then weapons. So that's where these overpowered weapons came in. We'll just have Curtains come back here to heal. But you can see like the Emir Gigantic Hunter. So the cutting damage on a like the baseline, the rusted junk is 0.62. On a falling sun, what's the base damage here? The base damage of the lowest grade of a falling sun is 0.46. So we're talking about better damage by far. And then you got 400% against Leviathans. If you look at the Mimir, this is the one that's like the Paladin cross. And it's just got indoor bonus, attack bonus. No, that's wrong. The Mimir one is armor penetration at 20 attack bonus, which is crazy. 50% damage versus robots, and 400 versus Leviathans. The Argos, this one has a ton of blunt damage, and it's got the attack bonus, damage versus Leviathans. And then your Giraffe Chopper, which you got from Beak Things, again comes with way more cutting damage than a normal one, a huge attack bonus, and then damage against Beak Things. So like even if you took out the damage against Beak Things, having more damage than a Falling Sun, like I'm probably gonna have to get a weaponsmith put together and maybe do a follow-up episode. But it's just been pure torture to try and play, crashing constantly and having the animals just die. So maybe we'll extend it a little bit, seeing if we can get our crafter to be a good enough weaponsmith. But to master the weaponsmithing, we would have to have like we have to go get all the science, just do a bunch of stuff that's not related to what we're doing and what this playthrough is supposed to be. Maybe in the next playthrough, we'll do a very big focus on crafting again and start from the beginning at a base, like build a base really early, get to crafting really early, and start farming up these animal materials. If we were to set up in a place where we can farm these animal materials and we weren't allied with the beak things. Like, it feels really crappy to kill these guys who won't fight back. And in practice, they just run away. But I'll do some testing and maybe we'll set up out here again without being friendly with the beak things and create a ton of those weapons and just have crazy super soldiers. We'll see. But in the meantime, I'm just having so much crashing that I want to try and move on to the next thing. Really, it's the animals dying that got me. Kenshi crashes, and that's unfortunate and annoying. But getting to where all the animals just would not stop dying, and even now, I mean, Edgar, he's staying fed, but this is the first time in a long time that's happened. Usually, I'll check back, and he's just starving. All right, Curtains is here. We'll get healed up, and then we're gonna go try and take a fight with the Bugmaster. So we don't want to run through any acid. We don't want to run through the swamps. So we'll head this way. And if we get damaged, we'll head back to Last Stand or wherever we have to. If we've got to get the materials and build a small hut with a skeleton bench, we will. But I want to explore those weapons because I like that you have to go out and hunt to get them. But I didn't get a second crafter set up. I was having so many issues over the weekend. The idea was to get 2 crafters fully set up and ready to go, and it just I just I just didn't. But I don't want to stop what we're doing and just try to wait for crafters to be ready. We're gonna close off the series. We'll save the save. I've saved over several other projects now. I started an entirely new skeleton playthrough that I was recording for. Saved right over it with this playthrough again. So I'm gonna stop doing side projects and just figure out, do I want to stream or start videos? We'll see what it's gonna be. I think we're going to stick with making videos maybe once. I don't know if I start streaming something else, but having multiple saves. So if you look at it, cash only, bum fights, roughshod. I've saved over casual sensei, cash only, and at one point saved over roughshod as well. So I had several different projects I accidentally kept saving over. It just isn't working. I'm just too dumb. But I promise, we're done. We're done bitching. We're just gonna wrap up fighting the Bugmaster. We'll see if recruiting him does anything. Not recruiting him, but trying to use the relations part of the mod. And then the next project, I'm kind of debating between uh, either a very beep focused playthrough, making our own hive. I want to try the Hiver mods, but I'm not going to go into another playthrough with untested mods and not know what to expect. That just kind of, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But making a new playthrough where we operate as the Hive would be fun, and I might throw in a twist and see if just see what I can do building with just Hivers. That would definitely require a heavy focus on crafting, so maybe that's what we'll do. I've also been looking at the Genesis and Universal Wasteland expansion mods. They're basically just big overhauls. I'm going to do a little bit of a deep dive on those before we try those, but those are coming in the future too. I'm just going to basically try to go through as many different kinds of Kenshi playthroughs as I can think of and just have some fun with it. I'm trying to decide if I want to switch over to videos or not because I don't have any of those skills. So it will dramatically reduce how often content comes out, but you'll see something more like a finished product where all the shit like this running and stuff is cut out and you can just enjoy it. But I'll have to do that or stream until I can figure out how to convert the stream and what all else I can do. If I can get it set up correctly to do recording and streaming, that would be ideal in some ways. But for the videos, the ideas I have are like more cinematic. I've seen some really that's been my favorite stuff in Kenshi is like the Rust Hilt series. Cool Kid Croc. His were kind of just as he played through, but there was definitely editing and him going over what he's doing. Paganacho, like all these guys I watched playing Kenshi, I was like, I want to do something kind of like that. But I like the some of the more narrative stuff that Rust Hilt that series had. So I think that's probably what I would do if I was going to make videos. Is more of a story driven way of showing it. The tips and tricks and cheese. I also thought about doing a playthrough where I name a skeleton bend over, and that's basically what we'll do to Kenshi. We'll just use every last bit of cheese we know. We won't skimp on any of it. We'll get a base up and running ASAP. We'll hire nothing but skeletons so we don't have to worry about food and just run the game over. Right now, we just want to get to the Bugmaster as intact as possible without any combat. I probably should have brought Edgar with me to deal with the spiders outside, but we can clear them out and then head for the Bugmaster if need be. We're going to be at a little bit of a disadvantage fighting indoors, but I don't want to drag him outside and then get backdoored by like 80 spiders. I've also seen a lot of overhauls that change the fogmen and how they react in the world states. Maybe get more of a like a zombie apocalypse style. I did try the zombie apocalypse mod, but like the way it worked is you would just I don't know, it didn't seem to work very well to me. I kept getting randomly downed and I couldn't understand why. Like my character would be fine and then just on the ground. So I don't know if there was someone in the background shooting me or what was going on, but it's just constant and then permadeath and they're everywhere. Like none of the towns are functioning. I don't know. Maybe it'll be something I need to revisit, but I didn't enjoy it. That's all I really remember. There's so many spiders here. We might have to take some of them out just to even get to him. Because I don't want to just take a bunch of shots without getting rid of them. We want to get to there. So far, we're able to just kind of run around them with how fast we are, which is nice. But once we get to the top, that won't be a thing. We do a ton of damage. And I am using the dexterity arms, which do seem to do less total damage even without us being in heavy armor. But that's because I really want to have that extra combat speed that we get from the higher dexterity. And we do get more cut damage. So there is an increase to our damage, but it's that combat speed that we really want, especially when we're fighting out while outnumbered. Particularly dealing with spiders and animals. When you're outnumbered, you've got to be able to attack quickly. With the added spiders here, this may not even be doable. We'll have to see. She's already taking so much damage. Yeah, see, we're hit pretty hard, and we're in good armor. This armor does provide a ton of mitigation. We're just still getting hurt. You can't really see what's going on. We might need to bring a friend or two just to get through this, or do it in waves. He's just got so many damn minions. Yeah, and if we go down, we will die. So we kind of have to bail. If you go down here, you will die. There's no getting back up from that. Is there anywhere nearby that isn't absolutely cooked? The other thing is too, if you notice, the spiders aren't really damaging anything but my vital areas. So we might be able to use just our sleeping bag to recover enough to head back up there. Doing this solo is very difficult, and we're not wearing straight up heavy armor. We want to actually be able to fight back, and when you're surrounded like this, it's just not going to work. We have to fight them a few at a time, and we've got to retreat as soon as our vitals get too low. What's crazy is looking at Kurtains stats. We've got 90s for melee attack and defense. Heavy weapons is upper 80s. Everything 90s for like strength, dexterity, toughness. And we still can't just solo the game. And part of that is having these extra animals added in. But it's also just the way it is when you have multiple attack slots. So if you look at these are only slightly stronger than the normal ones. Let's see if we can take these guys out. See, they all just go straight for the stomach. Oh, goodness, game. I don't know why it's going so turbo on the looting. It's like losing its mind every time I go to loot something. There's still so many in there. Yikes. One thing we can't do is get surrounded. If we get locked into a fight in there, we're hosed. Oh, geez. See, we're already out. Luckily, they didn't eat us. They're going back up to defend him. Our leg is badly damaged, too. We don't necessarily like that, but I don't have a way to fix it out here. Wow, they're even eating their own. Sheesh. So what we'll probably do is clear out this tower, then hit last stand and see if they have a skeleton bed for me. They probably won't, which sucks, but there's not really much to do about it. We might have to just build one in Squin or something like that. We've got the money to buy whatever we need to. If we just need to build one in last stand, we'll buy a building or something. Keep our sleeping bag with us just in case. You know what I didn't think about? I did bring a crossbow with me. Let's give that a shot. Because we only want a fair fight with the bugmaster. We don't necessarily want a super unfair fight against a million spiders that eat us if we lose. There's so little, though, we might just miss over and over. And it sucks running around this thing trying to shoot. Oh, it looks like they're taking the bait and following us at least. Oh, goodness. Maybe we'll go martial arts on them. We have gotten Kurtains martial arts up really high. There we go. We'll just kick him for 400 damage. That'll do it, right? There we go. Let's get the uphill advantage on this guy. Ooh, miss. Let's see how bad the misses are. Oh, yeah. Wow, not even close, dude. It does seem like dodging's working better than blocking against them for some reason. Oh, all these guys are damaged. Let's kick the shit out of them. So maybe martial arts is better against the animals here. I feel like one of these spiders still has its claws in it. Dead. 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 Okay, I did get him. We're not going to worry about our leg being a little low. That's okay. Oh, we are hungry? Really? Oh, that's unfortunate. We're going to have to wrap this up or retreat anyway. Can't fight him on an empty stomach. I love how the Bugmaster always looks a little different every time. Now we're going to be at a little bit of a disadvantage because if he takes one of our arms out, that could be bad, but let's see how we do. Yeah, that combat speed is going to be key against him. Wow. Okay, so animals seem to, and that's the way of it. Animals are always harder to defeat than just about anything else. But we were able to defeat him. We're going to pick him up. We don't have long before we start getting too hungry. Oh, there's one more spider up here. Okay. We're going to put him in here. Then we're going to whack this spider. Or it's just going to stand here and get attacked by us. I don't know what's up there. We don't have long for him to wake up. We need him to hurry up. So this is interesting. These teeth are actually worth a lot because of the loot mod that I have. Instead of them being worth like nothing, they're worth 300 cats apiece. Let's see. Increase my standing with your faction. That's what we wanted to check. Spiders are no longer hostile. Okay, so it does work. That's amazing. The spiders are now our allies. So now we should be able to even pick him up. Or at the very least, set him free. Yeah. He's not going to attack us. He's red because we fought him already. But yeah, we're now allied with the spiders. So now we just got to put that to the test. So you see here, skin spider. Didn't attack us, walked right by. So we could theoretically live out here and be just even safer from everyone because no one's going to want to deal with it. We can't purchase his bugmaster throne with them, even with the mod we have. But yeah, now we don't get attacked by spiders. We've made friends with most of the most dangerous animals in the game. I don't know where on earth we could possibly like, ooh, bounty hunters. I don't know where we would go that we could build something with that, but it is nice to know that these things aren't going to mess with us at all. That could be us. Fighting for our lives, hoping we don't die. But they very much died. Well, let's hit last stand, grab a bite to eat, and I mean that kind of wraps up what we wanted to do. We got the bugmaster stuffed into a cage. Now we have the beak things and the spiders on our side. I don't think that there is a particular enemy for the wolves or the gorillas that is a human, because that's the crucial part. They do have to be human for that mod to work. But now if we were to try and build something out here, we'd be even less likely to be attacked. Nobody from the United Cities or Holy Nation is going to come out here, I think. We'll put a small shack down here just to see. So while we didn't get to test out the crazy weapons because I just kept having crashing issues, I think we'll try using the mod that has that equipment but turn off the other animal mods that I installed. And we won't try to recruit any of them because that was the main source of my problems. If I didn't crash, people were just dying left and right. Armor shop. There's got to be somewhere to get food, right? Get some food. Sell some of these teeth off. We don't need those. I mean, we're able to claim his sword. What? I don't know what that person was on about, but we're in the middle of something. Okay, dude, chill. So we basically acquired every animal ally that we can. We defeated the bugmaster in fair fight. If anything, we were at a disadvantage, and it wasn't even close. He didn't have armor on, but that's his fault. Maybe we could knock him out and give him some armor. But the only thing left for us to do is go and claim the best falling sun there is. So we can try and take Catlon in a fair fight as well. That's just going to be a bit of running. We'll use the Bugmaster's weapon along the way there just to try it out. It does have more cutting damage. I didn't realize that. It does have way more cutting damage than the Falling Sun. I wonder if that's the case for any other weapons. That's interesting. What do we got going on here? Blood spiders. Hey, those are our allies now. We have to help them. Oh, yeah. That thing hits. And it weighs almost nothing. What? Why are we fighting the spiders? Oh, they're swamp creatures. They are not spiders. Okay. Interesting. Ooh, that leg. So yeah, I'm gonna have to check out the different sharp weapons and see. I know for endgame, I pretty much like the Falling Sun because it's got a mix of damage, but having that high cutting damage isn't nothing. Plus, the katanas having the minus damage against armor is what kind of gives them a drawback. This thing didn't have that issue. Got to get our run started again so we can go running. Maybe we should stop for Edgar. Is Edgar on the way? Edgar's so not on the way. We're not stopping for Edgar. Just to take out all the extra robots, maybe get a fancy 1v1 with Catlon, but we'll see what we can do. We absolutely can't take out all of the other robots that'll show up. That's just not going to happen. So we'll just have to see what we can do. If we can take Catlon out on his own. It's a whole different program trying to do stuff like that on your own. Some swamp turtles. And this is the other thing I was noticing is huge lag for the pathing. I've even got my graphics turned down lower than they normally would. What can I do? We can do fast zone hopping off. See if that'll help. But like this isn't normal. I don't normally have them just stop and start, even in the swamps. Like, what is this? We're all kinds of dorked up. But we're gonna do our best to claim Curtain's favorite weapon if we can. It's a shame we didn't get to grab that Falling Sun variant. Maybe that's another thing we need to look at, is trying to get those, but it'll just take so long. That might be something I do in the background. We'll pop back in on Curtains and see how she likes her new weapons, but it really just depends. I think in my next playthrough, I'm starting a base and crafting extremely early. I'm going to have a crossbow crafter, a chain armor crafter, a heavy armor crafter, and a weaponsmith, like, as soon as possible. I want them at least getting their skills up, even if we don't have the technology for it, immediately. I also like the idea of going like all in on dexterity. So like if you notice, you'll see that there's a lot of blunt resistance on different armor, but it's less. If we go all in on cut, then even though it gets mitigated, a lot of it will still just get converted to regular stun damage. And I think that's going to let us do. I think if we focus completely on dexterity, I'd love to see what the attack speed looks like. Like if we still had human feet, but we got the thief or steady arms, and we got the 20% on each arm dexterity. We got the combat speed from the sandals, the combat damage from the wraps, the combat speed from assassin rags, and just see just how gnarly we can get with how fast we attack. We're getting pretty close. We make it in good time even with the loading screens just because of how fast Curtains is. The question is, are we going to be a match for Catlon? And can we get around all those other robots? And it crashed. And I think we're going to see that happen over and over going after Catlin, unfortunately. Oh boy, we'll give it one more go, depending on how far back that goes. But I'm gonna have to disable some of those mods, I think. It's just too much. We're going back an entire like 7 minutes. I don't know. We're definitely not gonna keep going if it crashes again. Like I said, this is one of those things I kept encountering. When it resets you at crucial junctures, it can be a real problem. And every now and then I'd have to stop just to stare at the animals because they tried to starve to death, and I have to make sure they actually continued to eat till they were out of starving range. Mm. Yeah, that's an inconvenient amount of back, considering this was the worst part to run through. We'll see how it goes. We're going to try and go around the swamp this time. There's some of the hellhounds. We should probably take a pause in the running and just take on a few bugmen. Just test this weapon out. See, we swing so fast. But I do question on, the falling sun. I guess we swing really fast with it too now that we have all of our stats up. I think some of the animations for it are just naturally slower. But you gotta love those crazy AoE ones. No, we're almost out of their territory. Let's go ahead and see if just running at normal speed, at least running the game at normal speed, will kind of keep us from crashing on the way there. Can actually get our hands on this amazing weapon. We do technically have better stats than Catlon, if not better armor, and not as good of a weapon. We also could make use of our martial arts if we really wanted to. It's always crazy how this is actually supposed to be ash. None of this is actually like snow. It's just from this place burning down. Oh, and now we get to have the pathfinding issues that are just lovely in this place. I hate even coming here, and it's part of the reason why I'll make a mod or use a mod that lets me get May 2 variants of the Falling Sun. It's obnoxious coming here. We're running the game at normal speed, and she just can't figure out how to path there at all. It's so dumb. And I originally told it to go over here, and it just didn't, so I tried going the other way. Hopefully, they'll put some more polish into the movement and the way they go to different places, because we don't have the terrain doesn't tell you enough information about where you can and can't go, especially out here. It's not in any way noticeable which way you can go. Some of these hills are something you can walk over, some of them aren't. Some of this stuff you can walk between, some of it you can't. We're on the right track now. Let's see how we just like phase through that fucking building. So those are the two twin buildings where one of them has cat lawn and one of them's just filled with bots. I don't honestly remember which one is which. I believe that'll be cat lawn, but it could be either of them. Let's go ahead. We need to make some room. Don't need any of that crap. We don't need a ton of bolts. Okay, that one's filled with robots. So that means Catlon's over here. Oh, he's up. There's his magical re. We're cutting into him, but I hear enemies coming. Oh wow, we took him down. Let's get the hell out of here. Yep, no thank you. No thank you. I do not want to stay and play. Goodbye. We are leaving. So we were even more than a match for Catlon, it looks like, even without having his superior version of this. What else can we ditch? Guess we can run home with Catlon. Well, we got our fair fight. We really don't care about taking him with us. I wonder what they'll say, though, if we bring him with us to World's End. I wonder if there's anything I haven't learned yet. But yeah, we were able to take out Catlon. We now have the strongest falling sun, which is much stronger. Oh, it looks like the foreign saber has the same cutting as the falling sun, not more. So that makes sense. But we're able to now have the best version of this weapon on Kurtains. We're going to absolutely waylay anything we fight. The only time we run into trouble is when we're vastly outnumbered, which is the way it should be. But 1v1, we took out the Bugmaster and Catlon pretty dang quickly. Part of that may be due to our stats being better through this equipment. That extra attack bonus. Okay, I forgot to put my armor back on. Well, that's terrifying. If he'd hit us in the chest, we might have just died. So yeah, no, we just can take out Catlon for sure. That's interesting. It hadn't even really hit me that we had taken that off. So we were able to beat him without wearing our armor. That's pretty fancy. Can't get away from the horrendous loading screens though. Let's go ahead and save. Make sure we have that weapon at least. But now we've got Catlon with us. I wonder if anyone will say anything about it. I've never gotten a reaction from actually carrying him in. I wonder if the World's End will say something though. It'd be pretty cool to see. Yeah, that's what I thought. That did absolutely nothing for the loading. Huh. But we were able to secure at least a piece of each type of armor from the animals mods. Again, I think I'll just cut down on how many I install and just do the ones that add the crafting. And we'll give some of those weapons a try on a more crafting based playthrough. I'd love to run into some enemies to try this thing out on too. There's actually a pretty considerable difference in the damage. We should get our way and get an opportunity to fight somebody on the way. We're just gonna see if the people at World's End say something. And if they don't, we're gonna go looking for some enemies to try out our new weapon on. I do think part of it though is that we're using these athletic legs. I think the reason I don't ever see this, I'm usually running around with normal legs on most of my playthroughs. Maybe we need to opt out on the athletics legs and go for something else. Am I really not able to get up there from over here? Okay. Well, how do I get up there? There we go. What? Oh, come on. What kind of horse crap is this? I just want to go to World's End. This is another bogus ass set of walking paths, isn't it? It doesn't even know how to get there. See, we're over here. We probably got to go clear down there. No one's really reacting. Huh. Where is the Mr. Finch guy? He isn't saying anything out of the normal, which is just vague tech hunter babble. Legend of the Grieve Wraith. Pool of Obedience. Oh, wow. Mist Ghoul. No, no one seems to notice that I have Catlon over my shoulder or care. Well, that's a bummer. Wait a minute. Before I let him go, let's get some building materials, huh? Well, some iron plates. The iron plate shop gonna open soon. We're gonna imprison him and see if we can do the same thing. But there's no building materials store here. Okay. We'll ditch the sleeping bag just to make room. This is just gonna take a second to try. I do think it was a missed opportunity for having something happen after you take out Catlon. I guess he kind of assumed most of the time when you go there you're just gonna die like a fool. But it's doable. Even the robots he brings in to attack, even if you get caught completely off guard, it's still doable, even without mods or anything fancy. Okay, Second Empire Exile are now your allies. Whoa, where did you go? Whoa, 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 whoa. What does he plan on doing? He's just booking it, I guess. He's not gonna turn and attack me when he stops friggin' mouthing off, is he? Oh, look, mountain goats. We didn't collect any of these yet. Nope, he's not attacking me. Where are you going now? You're gonna go attack humanoids? He seems confused. Can Catlon take these guys out without a weapon? It sure doesn't look like it. Yeah, without a weapon and in heavy armor, he was just hosed. Us, on the other hand, oh yeah, that Meitu blade is sick. Guys, stop chatting. Let us enjoy the fight. Oh, we gave that guy a quick kick. And that included an Inquisitor. Oh wow, the Inquisitors are stacked with really good armor. So yeah, we've acquired the best weapon. Kurtains is an absolute murder machine. And we were able to conquer some serious bosses. We didn't collect every animal, but we collected the strongest. That being Edgar. He is by far the strongest as far as actual ability to kill things and fight things. Where are those Reavers? And I'll show you just what we're working with Edgar here. Where'd the Reavers go? Oh, they're all right there. Edgar can pretty much solo this entire attack squad. And Polly's no slouch either, our companion from the beginning. But Edgar's so big and unwieldy out here that he just doesn't fit and can barely even get into combat. But it was pretty straightforward to just take those guys out. So the strongest I've found was Edgar. Everything else just didn't compare to what he can do. Oh, these paladins wanted to get back up. I don't know why, but okay. It is crazy watching us now that we've got our lighter armor on and we've got the dexterity limbs. Just how fast we attack is so crazy. So it does look like as long as there's some kind of humanoid leadership, you can get them to join your side. So we could probably do that with just about every faction. It's just whether or not they have a humanoid version. Love just seeing waves of them go down, hewing through them like wheat. Oh, but if you get too surrounded, that can be a problem. I love that move because it mostly goes for their legs. Half the time, it'll just take a leg or two off of a group of them. Oh, like that. Yikes. So that kind of sums up our explorations with Curtains. It's kind of a little anticlimactic ending. Part of that's because we become too strong. But we're still not strong enough to take on a large group of animals, which makes being a beast tamer a little bit harder. I recognize pretty quickly, like, we can't take on a group of hellhounds at all. She just gets stomped out almost immediately. Oh, yeah, we don't even have the bed anymore. But we did get the equipment unlocked. Maybe one of these days we'll revisit it. I think I'll go over it with everybody and see what kind of playthrough we want to do next. I'm definitely going to steer clear of the athletic legs so that we're not moving at the speed of light. I think if we're actually moving at a halfway normal pace, we won't even see those loading screens, so that'll make it more fun. But yeah, the animals were cool. The armor's pretty cool, a little overpowered, but balanced around having to farm a lot of items. The weapons, I don't know how imbalanced they'll be. I never got a weapon crafter up enough, but we'll definitely check that out and see where to go from there. But thanks for watching, guys. I